If your energy, your skin, and your metabolism, they're fading, your mitochondria most likely is calling for help. The mitochondria are the power plants of your body. They're the things that produce the ATP, that get things moving in your body, that keep energy high, that gets your brain functioning so you don't feel any brain fog. It helps you sleep better at night. It helps you detox, have the energy to detox toxins out of your body. So ultimately, every wrinkle, every wave of fatigue, every why do I feel as old as I am starts actually at a cellular level. And at a cellular level within the cell, it is that mitochondria. If you took the mitochondria in your body, if you were to concentrate it into one little area, it would be literally the weight and the size of your neck and your head. Now, people with mitochondrial deficiency literally can lose a lot of their mitochondria. And so think of it as like half of the head of mitochondria in their body. And obviously, if you have half of the mitochondria working properly, or if all of the mitochondria in your body is compromised, you're not going to produce the type of energy that you should. So these tiny little organelles, they don't just make energy, they ultimately decide how you age. Okay, so in women, mitochondrial decline shows up earlier and faster than in men, especially around perimenopause and menopause. And perimenopause can start as early as 35 years old. So a 2021 cellular metabolism paper, it essentially found that female mitochondria are uniquely sensitive to hormone fluctuations, oxidative stress, and nutrient deficiencies that happen typically midlife, right? 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. But the good news is mitochondria are regenerative. You can actually rebuild them. You can reignite them. You can slow the biological aging process from the inside out, literally by activating them inside of your cells. So you don't have an energy problem. Typically, what you have is a mitochondrial communication and optimization problem. And that's something in this video, we're gonna talk about how to fix. So why is it that the mitochondria matter? The mitochondria regulates energy. It actually impacts hormones and even cellular death. It codes and communicates for cellular death within the cell. Women experience faster mitochondrial DNA damage during hormonal transitions, and estrogen modulates mitochondrial biogenesis and antioxidant defense, okay? So mitochondria, they're not just batteries, right? They are command senders. They actually communicate. They don't just pump out ATP. They decide whether a cell lives, whether a cell repairs, or whether a cell goes through apoptosis or what they call cellular death, right? Research in Frontiers in Endocrinology in 2022 showed that women's mitochondrial function declines more sharply during hormonal challenges than men's, partially because estrogen regulates the enzyme called PGC1 alpha. It's the master switch for mitochondrial growth. So estrogen actually protects mitochondria. It enhances their ability to burn fat for fuel and fight oxidative stress. So when estrogen plummets or drops, so does your mitochondrial efficiency. And that's when you have mitochondrial deficiency and you get chronic fatigue and you get fibromyalgia or things of that nature. So weight gain, brain fog, they also come along with all of this. So just in my practice as a clinical observation, I've often seen women in their 40s and the 50s who ate really well, they exercised, they did all the right things, they took the supplements, and yet they felt chronically exhausted and they even gained weight, right? Their labs often showed low coenzyme Q10, low ferritin levels, sluggish thyroid, a lot of deficiencies in glutathione, B vitamins. All of this is a reflection of mitochondrial shutdown. So mitochondria are the missing link between your hormones and your vitality. They translate estrogen ultimately into energy. So it's important for you to understand that. They also communicate. They're a massive communication mechanism within your body. So the next thing I want to talk about is the mitochondrial hormone connection. So how is it that estrogen enhances mitochondrial respiration? What's the role of progesterone and the support that it has? And is there any hormone therapy and lifestyle solutions that help to modulate mitochondrial gene expression and optimize mitochondrial function? Also, what about this energy decline that we see with aging? There's hormonal imbalances and feedback loops that can really, really help. So hormones, they literally talk to your mitochondria, and the mitochondria talk back. In 2018, Endocrine Review research article came out, and the researchers found that the estrogen directly binds to mitochondrial DNA. So it activates genes literally inside the mitochondria that increase ATP production and the development of antioxidant enzymes. So when the estrogen wanes, which happens during perimenopause and menopause, mitochondria ultimately produce less energy and there's more oxidative stress. So there's acceleration in what I call the olding process, the olding symptoms that women notice first. So tired, they have wrinkles on their skin, they look tired, there's thinning of the hair, there's slow metabolism, right? Essentially, this is a biological echo chamber that says that the weaker your mitochondria are, the more desperate and the more hormone imbalance gets created. So it's a positive feedback loop. The more hormone dysregulation you have, the more your mitochondria become dysregulated. The more dysregulated your mitochondria become, the more hormone dysregulation you get, right? So here's a clinical insight. When you restore the mitochondrial function through nutrition, through exercise, or targeted therapies, many women see improvements in cycle regularity, better sleep, more stability in their emotions and their mood. And all of this is before any medication is taken, thank God. So the goal that I would have for you is not to be on any medications for your entire life. I remember my wife, her grandmother lived to 104 years old. I think she was like 2 or 3 days away from living to 104. So I think technically she was 103 years old. But I'll give her 104 because she was 2 or 3 days away from it. But what was interesting about her is that she said, I'm never going to take any medications. I'm not going to take any medications through her whole life, even though they said, oh, you've got high cholesterol. Well, guess what? The research also shows that most people that live to over 100 have high cholesterol. We're finding that cholesterol is very healthy. Obviously, if you got ApoB 100, you want to reduce inflammation in your body. You want to, bring that stuff down. But if you've got high HDLs and healthy cholesterol, then it actually has been found to be very beneficial for longevity. What does cholesterol do? It actually brings nutrients and healthy fats to your brain, to your hormones. This is one of the things that can accelerate mitochondrial dysfunction. It can actually accelerate hormone dysregulation in your body. So healthy mitochondria means hormones that ultimately hum, right? They don't crash. And I want to talk to you next about how the modern day life damages your mitochondria. Like what actually creates damage to mitochondria? We know that chronic stress, cortisol dysregulation, you've got plastics, you've got toxins, you've got heavy metals that damage the mitochondrial DNA, you've got processed foods, poor sleep that all increase ROS, which is reactive oxidative species. And of course, sedentary living turns off mitochondrial biogenesis. So let's get into this. The modern world is literally a perfect storm for mitochondrial chaos. In 2020, Nature Reviews came out with a research article in the Nature Reviews Molecular Cellular Biology paper. It showed that chronic physiological stress triggers mitochondrial fragmentation and reduces ATP output. So this is chronic stress. What can we do to combat this? Breathing is probably one of my favorite things. Essential oils, the breathing of essential oils, the use of things that stimulate parasympathetic function, right? Like a true vaga device that you put on your vagal nerve to stimulate it to bring parasympathetic activation into your body. There's a number of things, right, that you can do. Another problem is environmental toxins like phthalates, BPAs, heavy metals. They directly damage mitochondrial DNA and interfere with energy metabolism. One 2019 human study in environmental health perspectives found that BPA exposure correlates with low mitochondrial function markers in women. And guess what? I don't consume any plastic. I just came back with my lab test. Now my BPA wasn't in the red, but it was just in the yellow, right? It wasn't in the green, it was in the yellow. And I'm like, how is it that BPA is even in the yellow in me? How is it moderate in me that I'm very intentional about not getting plastics? Do you know what I realized? Is that BPA is found in receipts at a very high level. And when I'm traveling, I'm handling receipts. So one of the things I'm gonna start doing is I'm just gonna have them put the receipt on the table, take a picture, and have them throw it out, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. That's the only thing that I can think about. But really, BPA is all over the place. The other problem is ultra-processed foods. This drives more mitochondrial dysregulation. It creates poor sleep. Now, when you get poor sleep, guess what? You also get poor mitochondrial function, because how does the mitochondrial turn over? It turns over in your sleep. Mitophagy, which is the turnover of your mitochondria, or the cleansing, I guess you could say, of your mitochondria, happens with really, really good sleep. A good goal to mitochondrial reset is to retire a little bit early, right? Go to sleep a little bit earlier, right? I like to go to bed around 10 o'clock, but if you're dealing with these types of symptoms, maybe try to get to bed at 9:30 or get to bed at 9 o'clock, right? And this will help boost your mitochondrial function and actually help create a benefit to your hormone regulation and endocrine functionality. So if you're consistently tired, it's typically not a personal flaw. It's your environment stealing your cellular spark. Like it's your environment that is down regulating the ATP and energy production and communication and hormone regulation in your body. So I want to move on to lifestyle habits that really help to rebuild cellular power and energy. We're going to get into exercise and how that really activates PGC1 alpha and mitophagy. We're going to talk about fasting and cold exposure, triggering mitochondrial renewal, and how sunlight and circadian rhythms regulate mitochondrial clocks. So the fastest way to reignite your mitochondria isn't a supplement bottle, right? It's literally movement, it's exercise. And look, I wish that I could tell you that it was supplements, but exercise is one of the best supplements that you could possibly take. If it was a supplement, it would be worth literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So the best type of supplement to build up mitochondrial function is resistance training, as well as zone 2 cardiovascular training for your heart, okay? And so interval training switches on PGC1 alpha. That's the gene that creates new mitochondria inside your body. In 2021, Aging Cell showed a research trial that essentially looked at older adults who performed high intensity interval training and what that did to their mitochondria. It actually increased their mitochondrial density and improved insulin sensitivity within just 12 weeks. Literally, this is better than any medication out there. You can get the same results ultimately with resistance training. Fasting 12 hours to 16 hours, it activates autophagy. This is cellular recycling system that helps to clear out damaged cells and damaged mitochondria. And don't underestimate sunlight. Sunlight is powerful. Mitochondria contains photoreceptors. So there's literal photoreceptors within the mitochondria that responds to red and near infrared light. It actually enhances the electron transport chain and the ATP output of the electron transport chain, if you remember that from high school. So the Frontiers in Physiology in 2020 showed this clinical observation, which was when you combine morning sunlight, when you combine that with strength training and 12-hour fasting, we see energy levels skyrocket. We see VO2 max markers rise within literal months. So ultimately, motion and light and rhythm are the languages of your mitochondria. Understand that, and it's a very big key to helping you boost your mitochondrial function. The last thing I'll share about is nutrients and tools that really help to fuel cellular energy. So we're going to talk about PQQ, we're going to talk about coenzyme Q10, which helps with mitochondrial biogenesis and the electron transport chain and the production of ATP. We're going to talk about B vitamins, magnesium, and cofactors for ATP production. We're going to talk about alpha lipoic acid, ALA, and N-acetylcysteine, NAC, which are antioxidant supports that help boost mitochondrial function. We're also going to talk about mitochondrial peptides like MOTC and SS31, which is emerging in the research. So let's talk about fuel. Your mitochondria need specific nutrients to make energy efficient. Coenzyme Q10, PQQ help generate new mitochondria and improve their efficiency. So in a 2020 meta-analysis in nutrients, they found that coenzyme Q10 supplementation improves fatigue and exercise tolerance in women. Now, B vitamins and magnesium are also spark plugs for ATP synthesis, and without them, your mitochondria really can't finish the energy cycle. Alpha lipoic acid and N-acetylcysteine reduce oxidative stress and help to regenerate glutathione, which is the mitochondrial's internal fire extinguisher. So you want to have glutathione elevated in your body because it ultimately helps your mitochondria function at a high level. Emerging peptides in the research are like MOTC and SS31. MOTC and SS31 are showing promising effects in reversing mitochondrial aging pathways by improving insulin sensitivity and the electron transport chain. This came out in Cellular Reports in 2021, which is very powerful. And just from a clinical perspective, with somebody that works with so many women around the world clinically, is that I know that micronutrient deficiencies are huge, right? I see women come back with glutathione deficiencies, amino acid deficiencies, B vitamin deficiencies, a lot of the A, D, E, K, fat soluble vitamin deficiencies. The list goes on. It's really, really challenging. And when you have deficiencies, your mitochondria and your hormone regulation can't be optimized, right? Your endocrine system gets compromised. And when you overcome those by creating sufficiencies to those deficiencies, by taking the micronutrients that you need, the light comes back, right? The libido comes back, the brain fog goes away, you have better stamina, you have better mood, right? So when you feel your mitochondria, right, you essentially feel oftentimes fatigue, right? You realize, okay, my mitochondria need something. They typically need to be fed. And ultimately, you want to feed them with nutrients that will help create maximum health and increase your life force. So here's how you integrate all of this, right? This is the new model of a female anti-olding. I don't like the word anti-aging because ultimately anti-aging, you can't do anything about aging chronologically. You can do something about anti-olding though. My goal for you is that you would be young at a very, very old age, okay? So aging for women isn't just about hormones, it's about the engines that power them. So when the mitochondria thrive, right? When your mitochondria are elevated, your hormones are balanced, your energy stabilizes, and your biological age ultimately slows down. We've seen this in pre and post biological methylation markers on longevity tests day in and day out. The new frontier of women's health isn't just treating symptoms, it's in rebuilding the energy factories that keep everything running. And the studies are very clear, right? Lifestyle, not luck, determines how well your mitochondria are functioning, and ultimately how much anti-olding effects are stimulated in your body so that you can look young and function young at a very old age. So this isn't quote unquote anti-aging, right? It's pro-energy, it's pro-mitochondria, it's pro-optimization of the energy pathways of your body. So start simple, right? Tomorrow morning, get some sunlight on your face, move your body, eat real foods rich in really colorful foods and different proteins. That's how you ultimately talk to your mitochondria. Share this video. I'd love for you to share this video with any women that you think might be tired or fatigued or brain fogged or, developing dysregulation of hormones or struggling with low libido or whatever it might be. Please share this with them because this is a very powerful video that will help them break past this. So please go ahead and subscribe, click that bell button, share this with anyone that you think might need this. And again, we're excited for you to be able to take this and use it to transform your life. Here are the big takeaways here from this video that I just want to summarize. Mitochondrial health is the foundation of female longevity. If you protect it, you don't just add years to your life, you add life to your years. And you ultimately can go into the reference section here under the video. You can see the research and links to the research that I referenced in this video. Thank you so much again for watching, and I look forward to adding more value to you in upcoming videos. Thanks so much.